Long ago, deep in the forest of the Congo, there lived a powerful king named Makanda. His kingdom was rich. His people had food. His warriors were strong. Other kings respected him. Many believed the spirits protected his rule. But Makanda had a fear he never spoke aloud. His father had once been king too. One night, without warning, his father ran into the forest and was never seen again. Some said madness took him. Others said fate had claimed him. Makanda wondered often. Could the same thing happen to me? So he called the diviners, elders who spoke to the spirits. After throwing bones and reading signs, the oldest said, "O king, your rule will be long and strong, unless you try to change what destiny has already written." Makanda laughed. "If fate is real," he said, "let it prove itself." That night, he could not sleep. He walked alone through the palace garden, listening to insects and thinking about his father. He wanted control over his future. He wanted proof that destiny did not rule him. So he decided to test fate. A young man had been sentenced to death for stealing. The diviners said he would die before the next full moon. Makanda secretly released him and gave him gold. "If fate is real," he said, "it will find you." Weeks passed. Nothing happened. The man did not die. Makanda smiled. One year, the rains were late. The elders warned that if planting was delayed, crops would fail. Makanda delayed the ceremony on purpose. But rain still came. The harvest was good. Now Makanda believed fate could be beaten. If destiny exists, he said, then kings are stronger. The diviners later spoke about his newborn son, Prince Kolima. They said, he will be a great ruler if he is raised with humility and discipline. Makanda ignored them. "My son will rule with strength," he said. Kolima grew up spoiled. Servants carried him everywhere. No one ever corrected him. He became cruel. He hurt animals. He punished servants for fun. The people began to fear the prince. Makanda saw this, but refused to change. "Fate will adjust," he said. Then the rain stopped. Fields dried. Crops died. Hunger spread. People left their homes. Soldiers deserted their posts. The elders begged Makanda to call the diviners again. This time, the diviners knelt instead of standing. "O king," they said, "you have challenged fate too many times. Balance is broken." Makanda laughed, but his voice was weak. "Then let fate fight me directly," he said. That night, thunder shook the sky, but no rain fell. The next morning, Prince Kolima was dead. No wounds. No sickness. He simply stopped breathing. Makanda screamed. He called healers. Priests. Sorcerers. None could save the boy. The diviner said, "This is the cost of defying what was written. Fate takes what you love most." Makanda refused to accept this. He carried his son's body to the sacred mountain alone. For 3 days, he climbed, crying, bleeding, begging. At the top, he shouted, "I beat fate before. I can beat it again. Give my son back." The mountain answered with silence. Makanda returned to the kingdom empty inside. Instead of changing, he became cruel. He raised taxes. Forced people to work. Took land from neighbors. His kingdom grew, but his people suffered. Fear replaced respect. Then famine grew worse. Trade failed. Rebels rose. Generals whispered about removing him. Finally, Makanda begged the diviners for help. "What must I do?" he asked. "You must stop fighting what is written," they said. "Walk with it instead." "How do I undo this?" "You cannot undo fate," they said. "You can only stop challenging it." A prophecy said Makanda would die in his palace. So he fled it. He moved into a fortress deep in the forest. I would die far from my throne, he said. Months passed. Nothing happened. Makanda believed he had won again. Then rebels attacked at night. His guards ran. His advisors fled. Makanda escaped into the forest, barefoot, bleeding, alone. He ran for hours until he collapsed beside a large tree. When he looked up, he saw stone carvings. This was the same sacred grove where his father had disappeared. It stood at the edge of the old palace lands. Makanda laughed weakly. I ran from the palace, he said, only to return to its shadow. The rebels found him. They did not kill him. They dragged him back to the capital, in chains. The palace gates opened. The people stood in silence as their king was brought inside like a criminal. That night, alone in his old room, Makanda finally understood. Fate had not destroyed him quickly. It had let him win, again and again, until he believed he was stronger than destiny. Then it took everything. His son. His kingdom. His name. At dawn, Makanda was executed at the palace gates. Exactly where prophecy said he would die. Not because fate wanted revenge, but because fate waited for him to walk straight into it. You don't lose by testing fate once. You lose by believing you can control what was never yours to control.